How do championship stadiums compare to the ones in the top flight? Hello and welcome to the Blue Dragon YouTube channel. Here you will find regular content based around Divisions 1 or 2 of English football. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, then subscribe to join my army. I will be taking you through the 5 best and the 5 worst stadiums in the championship and giving my opinions on their capacity, how old it is, and most importantly the stadium itself and atmosphere. There are some horrible stadiums in this, but others should not be in the top division, so without further ado, let's get into it. 24th position on my list is Kenilworth Road. This stadium opened in 1985 and has a capacity of just over 12,000. The stadium itself is very compact and is the home of Luton Football Club. This stadium is primarily used for League 2 football and was not meant to reach this high up in the English pyramid, but thanks to Luton's success it has managed to be in the top division of English football and has just been relegated back to the second division. It's located in quite a rough area. But for me the facilities at the ground are very poor and Luton are still waiting on their new stadium, so for now unfortunately it's 24th on my list. Second from bottom of my list in 23rd position is the Kassam Stadium of Oxford United, which opened in 2001 and has a capacity of 12,500 people. My main problem with this stadium is there only is 3 stands, and the other is car park. It does not belong in the championship. The atmosphere also can be quite dry, but I am interested to see how the atmosphere can change when they are in the championship. That will be interesting to see for away fans travelling to the Kassam Stadium next season. But other than that, there's not much more to say about the Kassam Stadium. It will move back to League 1 for the 25-26 campaign, as I see Oxford United getting relegated anyway. I don't think it's got good enough facilities for the second division, and it belongs in League 1, and they need to get a 4th stand stepped up because having 3 stands is not good enough for this level. So unfortunately for now 23rd on my list is the Kassam Stadium. Now in a 22nd position I've got quite a controversial one in Loftus Road. The road has got a capacity of 18,439 people and opened in 1904. It's a very old stadium, as you can tell is very small. The atmosphere is not great and hasn't been great for quite a while now, and not nice. The main reason why I put it so far down my list in the bottom 3. Because I don't think it's up there with the modern stadiums of the championship nowadays, and it is looking a bit rundown after 120 years of being the home of Queen's Park Rangers. Is very small, but at the moment I think it suits their fan base and suits Queen's Park Rangers. Equals 15,000 at the home of the RS. So for now 22nd on my list is Loftus Road. Now in a 21st position on my list, many people will massively argue with this, but I've got the home of Blackburn Rovers, Ewood Park. This stadium is one of the oldest in the whole of the 92. It opened in 1882 and has a capacity of 31,367. Of course, this stadium has seen some great times, such as Blackburn winning the Premier League. I know in recent times Blackburn have found themselves in the 3rd and 2nd division of English football, so it hasn't been going too well for them. It's a very old stadium. Blackburn often can't match up to the capacity of the stadium and often get very low attendances compared to the mass of the stadium, so that leaves it with quite a dry atmosphere in general. As I said, it's seen some good times, but they haven't been happening in recent times for Blackburn Rovers. Will they survive next season? Who knows, but for now their stadium is just staying up. So in 21st position I've got Ewood Park. Now in 20th position, we have the best of the worst teams or stadiums in the championship. In 20th position I've got Swansea City with the Swansea.com Stadium. The stadium itself opened in 2005 and has a capacity of 21,088 people. It usually gets about 16,000 on a good day for home support at times throughout the season. Last season, we saw many toxic games with Swansea as they struggle to finish in mid-table positions. I am a Cardiff fan. I won't pretend like I didn't enjoy this suffering, but again it hasn't been there in recent times, with Swansea looking back at past days of them being in the Premier League for 7 to 8 years, which is great times for the club, but now they've fallen back into the second division and their attendance have dropped massively in the last 5 seasons. Also the Swansea.com Stadium is quite out the way from everything, so it makes it more difficult for away fans to travel there, and it just makes it harder in general, and this is a harder experience for more and more fans to come. So, because of all those issues with the stadium, for now in 20th position I've got the Swansea.com Stadium. Now we're finished with the 5 worst stadiums in the Division 1. We'll now show you some of the best stadiums in the Championship. Many of these too belong in the Premier League. These stadiums are based off atmosphere and facilities in general, so here are my top 5 stadiums in the Championship for the 24-25 season. Now on my list in 5th position, the worst of the best, I have got controversially the Den Stadium of Millwall. This stadium is feared throughout the country and is notorious for being the home of one of the UK's toughest fans. They have a deadly rivalry with pretty much every single team in the Championship. The stadium itself has a capacity of 20,146 people. It opened in 1910. This stadium symbolises toughness just in general. Just the name, the Den, it strikes fear into fans of opposition teams, and it's always hard to get a result over there because of how Millwall play and how sturdy their sides have been throughout the years. They tend to be a very physical side. The atmosphere there tends to be very passionate, and I think it symbolises what football's about, and that is why I really do like this stadium. It's very old, it's tough, is intimidating for many who go there. It creates a deadly atmosphere at times, especially when they're on top. So for now in 5th position, I've got the Den Stadium. Now on my list I've got a very special stadium, and the name of the stadium is of course Hillsborough, the home of Sheffield Wednesday Football Club. For over 120 years now it had some tough times with the incident with Liverpool with the 97 who died, but it also had some good times. It's a very historic ground and home attendances are always up for Sheffield Wednesday, as it is a massive football in the city. It opened in 1899. And has a capacity of 34,835 even when Sheffield Wednesday were in League 1. It was still a force to be reckoned with, and still thousands came to watch the Wednesday play every single week. Also notable point about this stadium is that this is where they overturned a 4-0 defeat against Peterborough United to go into the playoff final, and I think that just shows how passionate fans from Sheffield really are, but I think that might be even more relevant in the next stadium we go to. But without giving any more clues away, in 4th position I have got the home of Sheffield Wednesday, Hillsborough. I gave away a massive clue in the last stadium, and I did Hillsborough about what this stadium would be, the fact that it's from Sheffield, and I'm sure many of you pieced together now. The stadium I'm talking about is the one that's direct rivals with Hillsborough. This stadium is one of the oldest in England. It has a capacity of 32,050 people, and it opened in 1855. Of course, this is the home of Sheffield United Football Club. In recent times it's been through some tough times, losing several games at home last season. In fact, only win a couple out of the 23 games at home, not 19 games at home. The stadium rally has been brilliant since it was opened in 1855. One of the main reasons why I put it so high on my list is because of how well the facilities have held up for about 150 years now. Is absolutely incredible ground. Have seen some tough times recently for Sheffield United in the Premier League, as they just can't quite crack the top division, but it's historic, noisy and strong, is a very firm ground on it. Definitely reminds me of what football is all about. The atmosphere there in recent times has been dry while still in the Premier League, but I have no doubt that it will get right back up there whilst they're in the Championship and winning a lot of games. So that is the main reason why I put it so high, is because the atmosphere is top-notch and fans from Sheffield, as I previously said, really do care about their club. So for now in 3rd position is the home of Sheffield United, Brummel Lane. Second place stadium on my list probably should be in 1st position, but there is a massive reason why I've got this in a second, and you'll find out when I get to the 1st place stadium. But for now in 2nd position on my list is the home of Leeds United, Elland Road. The stadium itself has a capacity of 37,890 people and is one of the biggest in the Championship. It opened in 1897 and has been the home of Leeds United for its entire existence. The stadium itself was actually older than Leeds United, the club. It's loved by many Leeds fans and is regarded as one of the best stadiums in England. They consistently get high attendances. They're almost filling out the stadium most times that Leeds play at home, as they do have a massive fan base, but the main reason why it's second is because of how good the atmosphere there is. When you're at Elland Road, you don't have time to blink. You cannot think. It is absolutely amazing how loud it is in Elland Road when you hear marching on together at the start of a game. It really just unites the fans together as they passionately support their team. This football ground is one of the oldest and the best atmosphere in England. It is known worldwide for the passion that Leeds fans have for the club and theirs. So many of them spread out across the country, and Other countries, as they have such a big following throughout the world, it had some good times with Leeds being in the Premier League and winning the Premier League in the top division, but it also had some bad times with Leeds going as far down as the third division and spending 16 years outside the top flight. But if it wasn't for this first place stadium, then I think Elland Road would be clear at the top, but you can probably guess what stadium is first on my list. But for now, in second position is the home of Leeds United, Elland Road. In at first position on my list, you probably would have guessed which stadium is going to be up here, but for me in first position has to be the Stadium of Light, the home of Sunderland Football Club. It has the capacity of 48,707 people. It opened in 1997 and is the biggest stadium in the Championship. The facilities on the stadium does not belong in the second tier whatsoever. They have brilliant, passionate fans who turn up week in, week out. They do love their football. Up in the northeast, you do have some big clubs. Along with Sunderland, you have the likes of Newcastle and Middlesbrough. Obviously, Sunderland can't compete at the moment with Newcastle football-wise, but they can definitely compete attendances-wise, as most of the time Sunderland get over 40,000 at home, which is an astonishing number for the Championship, and is definitely the biggest home attendance in the league. As I said, they're brilliant fans who are very passionate about their team. It's quite a new stadium, which means facilities are nice. There's plenty of food options in and around the ground. Overall is just a great stadium, and in my opinion it is the best in the Championship. The facilities are top-notch, and that is what I love in a football stadium. That is what I look for. So for me, the best stadium in the whole of the Championship for the 2024/2025 season is the Stadium of Light of Sunderland. Alright, that was the end of that video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you disagree with any of these opinions or stadiums, then feel free to call me out in the comments. But if you do agree, give the video a like, and if you want to see more content like this, then subscribe to join my army. I will be doing plenty more videos like this, such as previews and reviews and talking about Premier League kits next week, so that video will be out soon. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to stay up to date with the latest football news. Thank you for watching, and come on the boys.